All right, let's do it, man.
I'm excited.
Let's get it.
Welcome back, the Baseline Podcast. Jonathan Mears here, Nitsan Aaron, and we got JJ Kaplan in the house.
Thank you guys for having me.
Longtime Kiryat Ata guy.
Very long time.
We know we love our Kiryat Ata guys.
Yeah.
So we're excited to have you. Thanks for coming.
Absolutely.
We're just two guys, love overseas basketball.
Mad respect.
We're getting it out there. You know, the overseas culture, Israeli basketball culture, just on the rise. We have guys coming in every week, sharing their story. Every story is so different and so unique, and we're very excited to hear yours.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. Really excited. Just real quick, want to introduce a little bit about your career. You know, you attended and played at the University of Alabama, Huntsville for 5 years. Then you went on and decided to go pro and went Kiryat Ata, right? You were with them in the second league in 2021, won the chip with them, which is huge, you know, and then you moved up to the first league with them. And now you're up at Rishon LeZion.
I am.
Also just moved up to the first league.
Yeah. I guess something about going up from second league to first league, just something has my heart with that, I guess.
I think it's like they sign you, then they go up, you know?
Yeah.
Like, all right, you know?
Yeah, you know, or keep you up. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I like building a program or something, going to college for 5 years, redshirted first year, then played 4 years, and then going to Kiryat Ata for 4 years. It's not very common.
So growing up in Alabama, you
Yeah.
know, not sure how the Jewish environment is over there, but when did your first love for basketball really take place, and how old were you?
Oh, man. Probably 3. I remember I was
Oh,
3. I watched Space Jam with Michael Jordan, obviously.
movie.
And
Yeah,
I know you
not
guys
LeBron.
ask everyone. I'm a LeBron fan, 100%. But, like, I think Space Jam really got me into it. I mean, my parents say my first word was ball. I don't think it was basketball. It was just, like, any sports. Like, I played any and all sports I could at a young age. But from 3 years old, my parents kind of knew that basketball was the main one. Better at baseball. My dad was kind of mad that I chose basketball.
What position did you play?
Shortstop, pitcher, first, and once I started getting hit by the pitches, I was like, I'm good. I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't. And my mom
Get
always
domed
made fun
once,
of me because
you
she
know?
was like, "But you'll go up for a layup, get your feet taken out, and land on your back." And I was like, "Yeah, but that's in my control." And she was like, "No, it's not." And I was like, "Oh, well."
That shit just happened to me the other
Yeah,
day.
exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it
had me
made
worried
sense.
on the ground.
Yeah, it makes sense in my head, but baseball. Decided
And then
not to.
around middle school time, you started playing in NEAU.
Oh, yeah. I played AAU actually pretty early. Like 3rd grade is when AAU kind of started, maybe 4th. One of our friends' dad asked me to be on their team, and I kind of did. I've kind of take the scenic route in my basketball career. Like, always came from the bench, like was never the best player, but like always a good rebounder. That's how I figured I was going to be on the court. Same in high school. I was like the only kid in my college class to go freshman, JV, varsity. And then same thing in college, redshirted, played like averaged 2 points a game my freshman year. Coach had to sit down with me and said, you have like a lot of hobbies, you like a lot of things, but I don't think you love basketball. And that kind of, lit a fire under me. And because I knew I loved it, and then switched to gear and then did well. So it's always in threes for me, I guess. Freshman, sophomore year, junior year, blow up. Redshirt freshman, sophomore, blow up. And then same thing with Kiryat Ata. My first year, did okay. It was towards the end of the year I did really well. Same with that next second year, and then the third year, blew up, and then everyone kind of knew my name.
I think taking it back a little bit, I think nowadays you see so many players specialize from the time they're 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
You know, their parents put them into AAU, put them into travel basketball so young. Do you think that being such a well-rounded athlete really helped you in your journey?
I think it's helped my versatility in the game of basketball. I think now basketball is you're going to have to specialize. Mm-hmm. It's not – I don't think it's a sport anymore where a kid from the streets can make it without having someone come and help him, bring him in, pay for training. I do a lot of training in LA, and I've seen Taj Ariza, who's Trevor Ariza's son, mm-hmm. Gilbert Arenas' son, Elijah, and we're using the same trainer, and it's an NBA trainer, and the NBA trainer's doing stuff with me where I'm like, holy crap, I don't know anything about skills development, and then they're getting it at the age of 10. So by the age of 18, they're already doing stuff in their bag, and I'm like, yeah, these dudes are different.
Basketball's evolving on all fronts now at this
insane.
time.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's pretty crazy. But let's go back to high school and
Yeah.
the whole recruitment process. You're from Huntsville,
Yeah.
Alabama,
Yeah.
and you know, D3 is like kind of hated on, and then there's also D2, but at any level, it's still a whole process, and that recruitment process is definitely something that is not easy to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to go D2 is, some people will be like, oh, it's not D1,
Right.
but D2 is still a very high level of basketball.
100%.
And you did it in your hometown. So what was it about Alabama, Huntsville,
Yeah.
that you went to play there? And how was that recruiting process like for you?
Crazy. Like I said, I mean, I was under recruited. At least I felt like I was under recruited my whole high school career. And one of my best friends that I met my junior year, his dad was actually the coach of Alabama Huntsville. And they were like interested, but never gave an offer. You know, I had interest from D1s, but they never pulled the trigger, gave me an offer. I had D3s like all throughout my junior year, and only like 2 D2 schools gave me like an actual offer. And so, I mean, it sucked. Like all my friends were getting offers and signing, and I'm senior year of high school. I don't have an offer, and it's January, and I just, you know, kind of trusted the process. And UAH, Alabama Huntsville, said, oh, we'll let you know, like, if we have an offer for you at the end of the year. You know, we're going into March Madness. So we'll let you know after. So, I mean, I just finished my year, don't even really worry about it, and I'm sitting there after my basketball career of high school, not knowing where I'm going, and then they finally offer me, like, a couple days after, and I decided to go to Alabama Huntsville for 2 reasons. One, they were one of 2 of my offers, so didn't really have a lot of choices.
Yeah.
And then number 2 is they're a very prestigious D2 program, like always ranked top 25. Like when I was there, we were always ranked in top 10. And they also paid for my master's, and my mom is HR, so she was all for that.
You're not giving that up.
No, she wouldn't let me.
Yeah.
But actually, she wanted me to leave Huntsville. Like, she wanted me to get out. Like, both my parents, when they, you know, grew up, they left their hometowns.
Mm-hmm.
They lived in Australia, LA, Boston, Rhode Island, and I think probably others that I'm forgetting.
Well, you go to Huntsville, and like you said, you redshirted that first year.
Yeah.
What happened there? Was there an injury?
No, they redshirt everyone that comes in. Like, our whole freshman class got redshirted.
Oh, okay.
Just because, like, a lot of D1 guys transfer from D2, so they want to make sure, like, the 18-year-old who's scrawny, like I was 185 going into
so
college.
from a basketball standpoint, mentally and physically,
Both,
and like
yeah.
just getting you on the court, getting you prepared.
Yeah.
How are you able to take that mentally for your freshman year?
Oh, I knew. They tell you going in, which is why I guess they can kind of pitch it because they're all about the culture there. So they really build a great culture. We run the Princeton offense, so it's very cerebral, and that's another reason. So it's both, like you said, physically and mentally getting you ready, how to juggle school, how to juggle the playbook, how to juggle the weights, all of that, and how to be successful. But all the guys there were amazing dudes that helped us along the way. Like, all the guys in my class will be like a best man at my wedding. Like,
That's
we're
incredible.
still in a group chat, still do fantasy football like we talked about. Like, all the guys at UAH, we still keep in touch. So it's a very special place in my heart.
You know, going from being under recruited and then being told you're going to have to redshirt, that
Yeah.
mentally had to take a little bit of a toll in the sense of, you know, you wanted to go play basketball so badly, and then you had to only have really one option or 2 options,
Mhm.
and even then you weren't going to play. What kind of kept you going in that moment to say, you know what, I am going to take this offer, I'm going to keep going, even though there's this break of play, even though I feel like I'm not getting the respect I deserve?
Sometimes I think I could use like a little bit more confidence because, like I said, I've just kind of been overlooked, and I just am better as an underdog. I don't like when people think I'm going to do great. It's just not how I've been like my whole life. But to answer your question, I was fine with it because I was just happy to be on a college basketball
Nice.
team and like be with a winning program and see what winning is like. And the coach who coached me is now he went to Lipscomb in the middle of my basketball career at UAH, and then now he's at Samford. So he's an unbelievable coach, one of probably the smartest coach like I've ever played for. But no, I was fine with it because I wasn't going through it alone. You know, there were 4 other guys right by my side who redshirted, and they were just as good as me, and so it helped. If I went through it alone, I think it'd be really tough. But again, like, watching games from the sidelines is not what any kid wants to do. But
Right.
I kind of bought into the process, and that's kind of UH's whole thing is trust the process, work while you wait, and your time will come.
And that absolutely had to make
And
that's all had to make your parents really happy to be able to focus on academics for that year.
Yeah,
as well.
my dad was like, all right, when is he gonna play? When is he gonna play? They were a great balance. They were a great team. Dad was like sports, but knew school came first, and mom was school. It's funny. In high school, I had a really good game against our rival. I went to Grissom High School, and we played Huntsville High School, and I had 26 to beat Huntsville. Yeah, to beat Huntsville, and I remember we got Chick-fil-A Saturday morning, and the girl who was working the window was like, "Are you JJ?" And I was like, "Yeah." And my mom is with me, and she was like, "You had a great game, like way to beat Huntsville or whatever." And I we pulled off, and my mom was like, "It will never get better than that." And I was like, "What the heck?" Like, and so now it's like a running joke with us that like, whenever I signed college, and then I had like a 30-point game, I looked at her and I was like, "You'll never get better than this." And then I signed my first pro career, and I look at her and she's like, "Don't. I already know what you're gonna say." So yeah.
Call her after winning the chip, and
Yeah.
she's just like, never gonna get better.
Yeah, it's never gonna get better than that. Yeah. So she's my biggest motivator, and she still to this day is like, "Well, when are you gonna do internships? When are you gonna do more internships? You know, like basketball's not gonna last forever." And I'm like, "I'm 28, fifth year pro. I think internships can wait. I think I'm good." But
so you redshirt your first year, second year you average around like 10 minutes a game I saw, and then it just kept on getting more and more, and then you're playing at a really high level your senior redshirt year.
yeah.
And why don't you just kind of take us through that whole college process? What was it like for you mentally balancing academics? How was that first redshirt year help you towards that senior redshirt year where you took off and then got ready to go overseas?
Yeah, academics was never really a problem. I think honestly I took academics a little too
Serious?
well, yeah, too serious in my freshman year, and I think that's why it showed like on the court. Like, I'm very proud to say this. I got a 4.0 in college. Got my master's, was 4.0 student. Like, I'm very proud of that. But basketball definitely took a hit. And then when my college coach, had that end of the year meeting with me, it kind of woke me up and was like, all right, I can balance it a little bit more. And we had, they recruited a freshman who was like one of the highest recruits we ever had coming into UAH at my position. And so that was kind of a wake-up call, like, okay, you guys don't see me fitting that spot, because my redshirt sophomore year, when I had the really good season, they like a lot of the seniors were leaving, so there was minutes to be had, like fighting over it, and I kind of worked my way into it. But going from redshirt sophomore year, redshirt junior year, redshirt senior year, every single summer I had a surgery, like from basketball.
Wow.
So it's like, yeah, as like a kid, I'd say kid. I wouldn't have said I was a kid then, but like as a kid to juggle that early on in my career, I think really helped me. Like, we had a character coach who helped me through it, and he said, things don't happen to you, they happen for you. And from then on, like, it's changed the way I see life, and I'm just lucky to be playing basketball, So I think that also goes into my game. Like, this could be my last game. I'm going to give it everything I have, and I think that's why I play with so much intensity as well. So, yeah.
And go ahead.
Was there a moment, in college where you said, them recruiting that freshman made you realize you wanted to commit a little bit more to the game? Was there a moment then, as because you've talked about before how you kind of just happy to be there, you're kind of just happy to grind it out and be with things, but was there a moment in your career where you said, I can go pro, I can do this?
Yeah, it was honestly the first 2 years I was like, okay, I'm not going to be a professional basketball player. Like, it's just not in the cards. And then I was doing internships like every summer because of my mom. And that was the hardest thing to juggle, though. And I'll get back to your question. That was the hardest thing to juggle, was because that summer that I had the breakout year, I had a 9 to 5 internship. So I was waking up at 4:30 in the morning, getting my lifts in, going to the internship. Then afterwards, I had to get my skill work in. And then after the skill work, we had pickup. So my days were 4:30 to 7:30, 8, and all my friends were like having fun in the summer, and I was going to bed at 9, 10 to get ready to do it again. And from then I was like, okay, if I can do that, like I can do anything. It's all a mindset. But I don't remember your question.
Oh, was there a moment where you said, I can go pro?
Professional? Yeah. My sophomore year, there was I played in the March Madness, and like I said, I was a sophomore, and there was a guy who an agent was looking at, or a coach was looking at, and I beat him in the matchup, and he was like, are you gonna go overseas? And I was like, well, I'm only a sophomore. And he said, well, you're Jewish. And the coach is Adam Kaplan. Shout out Adam Kaplan, because he told me all about it, and he was like, you could play in Israel. like easily. Like, let me know when you're done. And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to focus on college for right now. And then that kind of opened the door of Israeli basketball.
So that's usually what we hear from the Jewish Americans that play out here. It's like, when did that coach, when did that
Yeah,
agent
yeah.
find out that you're Jewish
Yeah.
and you can go
Yeah.
get that passport? So
Yeah.
even before going to college, before hearing that,
Mhm.
were you ever in Israel before that?
No. And you guys talked about what it's like growing up as a Jewish kid in Alabama. There was one other Jewish kid in my high school, and he had the same last name as me because he was my brother. Other than that, no one else. And it was tough. Like, I think that's why I have like this tough skin, because middle school was absolute hell for me. Like, they made so many Jew jokes, like it's not even funny. And I don't know. I think that's why like I laugh a lot, because that was like how I got through it. And I remember what really lit a fire under me was at my bar mitzvah. One of my parents' friends said a really funny joke, and I laugh at it now, but at the time it pissed me off. He said, in front of everyone, said it in front of the whole congregation, was like, JJ, you have a better chance of owning an NBA team than playing for one. And I was so mad when he said that, because I was like, no, I'm going to play in one. Now looking back, it'd be nice to own an NBA team, you know, like I'm not going to be mad about it. But yeah, it was tough. But when I played in the Maccabea games in middle school, and I met all these Jewish kids, like hundreds and maybe 1,000 Jewish athletes, I couldn't stop asking them if they're like actually Jewish, because the minds like I couldn't wrap my head around there were this many Jewish kids and they were athletes, you know, because the stigma is Jewish kids can't play sports, like they're not good, they're more smart. So
We see that's not true.
yeah, and when I played in the Maccabea games in Germany, and I saw it's like worldwide, that opened up another thing, and then that's why I was so set on coming to play
So
in Israel.
your first time coming to Israel was for,
Basketball.
wow.
I never got to go on birthright because summer basketball was always in the way. College workouts, they didn't really want me to go, and so it's just ironic and honestly bittersweet that I got to do it.
So then you have an amazing redshirt senior year, and you're getting ready. You're like, all right, back in sophomore year, someone told me I could go play overseas. What was the process like getting that Israeli passport? How was it for you? And then actually landing in Israel, what was that feeling like? Oh shit, I'm doing this.
Wow. I wanted to keep first things first, right? Like I had to have a good senior season, so I really didn't work on like who my agent was going to be, but I did, like you said, start getting the process ready in January. And this was during COVID. This was right after COVID, so things took longer. But because I had a bar mitzvah, because both my parents are Jewish, because I actually go to a synagogue, it was actually pretty easy to get my citizenship. And then when it was time to leave, like I was so excited all summer, saying like, oh, I'm a professional basketball player, I'm whatever. When I left, you have to remember, like, I've only lived in Huntsville, Alabama. And I was so excited to leave Huntsville, Alabama. Like, it wasn't like I wanted to stay at home, but leaving, it was so emotional. Like, both my parents, super emotional. And then when I got to Israel, there was something in the air, right? Like, it was all great. I was like, oh my gosh, I made it. And then that just, like, crashed because I had to stay 7 days in my apartment with no one there, all white apartment. I felt like I was going insane, couldn't leave. Like, it was brutal. That was probably the hardest time I've ever had, and for as long as I can remember, it was tough. But now, wow, I couldn't imagine not doing this. Like, it's awesome.
Was there a moment in there where you said, you know, maybe Israel wasn't the move for me?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if you go look at my first year stats, it just wasn't going well. Second year still wasn't going well, but I don't know, I'm just not really the type to give up, and sometimes that could be a problem. Like, you know, I should probably switch and do something else, but I was like, no, there were like spurts that I had, like practice games where I'm like, okay, no, like it's okay, like I'm good at this, I'll figure it out. But yeah, I would say there were times, but I wasn't gonna listen to it. I was just gonna keep
Like
working
you
and figure
said,
it out.
you come to Kiryat Ata. Huntsville, Alabama was the only place you ever lived.
Yeah.
It's very opposite sides of the world, completely different things, but you just left Kiryat Ata after being there for 4 years, and it definitely had to be a little emotional for you.
100%.
It was a second home for you. What was it like getting there by yourself, having everyone accept you, maybe invite you to Shabbat dinners, types of stuff like that? How did the city welcome you?
I don't know about the city as much, which I kind of felt, this is kind of weird, but like the city itself didn't accept me. I would say the guys on my team did like a really good job. Like Amin Stevens, like having him as like my vet the first year, he helped through it all. I was mentally going insane. Like, why am I not playing? Why am I not doing well? Why am I not? And like having to do well in practice. And if I had a bad practice, I would like not want to hang out with anyone and like go home and just like think about it and then go back to the gym. And he kind of helped like, hey, basketball is number one, but you got to have a social life. Like, you're just going to go insane if you just like sit in your apartment and just think about it all the time. And so he helped me navigate it. And so we were together for 3 years, and he kind of helped every single year on what to do with like the next stage of my career. And no, I mean, the city, like I think most sports fans, cities like really like you when you're the best. And then, you know, if you're not really like doing much, which I don't blame them. Like I understand, I guess, but I would just say like having a really good team around me is what helped me push through.
You know, we've heard a couple times on the pod from a couple different people about how when you're playing overseas, you're not just playing overseas, you're living overseas. Yeah. And as you just said, you know, you have to have a life on and off the court. Yeah. What were some things that off the court kind of kept you sane, kept you happy?
Probably the beach. Like a lot of guys complained about, like a lot of my friends who were playing overseas complained about how cold it was at their place and how they haven't seen sun. And I would look outside and it's super sunny, and I was like, why am I not taking advantage of this? Like vitamin D has so much to do with our mental health. Yeah. So like, and that's another thing I learned is to go out in the sun, go on walks, cooking. And then my girlfriend helped a lot. She was a professional for like 7 years at the time playing volleyball. So she kind of helped me with the process, but also cooking. That's kind of my zen, is like I love looking up new recipes. I love cooking, and that helps a lot.
What's your go-to thing to cook?
It depends. Like I really like I make a coconut curry chicken, like over rice with some vegetables, and that's kind of been my go-to.
So you brought up the girlfriend a couple of times now, so let's get into it a little bit. Okay. You just got back from the States off season. You know, overseas players, it's hard, you know, because you're going out for 10 months of the season to wherever you're playing, and then you got that few months back at home. Mm-hmm. So what is that like as a guy who's trying to juggle a relationship, trying to juggle his family back home? And why don't you like expand on that a bit?
Yeah, I've never been like the guy to like go out and go to the clubs or the bars. I'm a homebody. So in the sense of sitting at home and FaceTiming her, making sure like we're building on our relationship, it's easy. But, you know, it's tough when you don't get to share memories or make memories while you're dating. But I wouldn't be able to do long distance with anyone but her. Like I said, she played 7 years overseas, and so she understands what it's like to be an overseas athlete. And we met in Kiryat, actually. She's from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm from Huntsville, so it's crazy that we met in Israel that far away at the time.
In Kiryat.
In Kiryat. Like, I don't know if a lot of people know what Kiryat is, especially like everyone back home, but it's a very small, very religious city, not a lot to do. And like even my first 4 days in Rishon, like I've already seen like way more, and
you're in the center now.
But it is nice because Kiryat is like a very family organization, and I think that's what I needed early in my career. But anyway, Kennedy, my girlfriend, she's helped a lot like with my career, and I kind of want to give back and move her out here, but the war's been kind of tough, and she's also has a job in LA, so yeah.
You know, you spoke on kind of the war and the situation, and also, you know, going to the beach, and there's, you know, the duality there of everything. Kind of what can you speak on in terms of, you know, playing here during, you know, such a complicated and crazy time? And you said you had this family atmosphere, this family organization, your girlfriend with you. What can you speak on, yes, it's been a crazy time, but also this is where you want to play, you know, kind of.
Yeah, I think being Jewish and in Israel, you kind of have this feeling of, I don't know, wanting to be here. It's weird. I can't explain it. But she was here during October 7th, and the league like flew us out to Cyprus. They put us in this like really nice resort, and none of us, especially me, I couldn't enjoy it. Like my heart was in Israel. Like it was almost like survivor's guilt, like always wondering what's happening. I was texting my teammates like, "Are you okay? What's new? What's this?" And it wasn't as much like I was worried about my basketball career. It was more like, am I going to be able to go back to Kiryat? Am I going to like be able to see my teammates, the people that I met? But I don't know. Like I remember I went back to Huntsville, Alabama, Huntsville, UAH, and I was working out there, and the coach, my coach, pulled me aside, and like we went into the weight room, and he was like, "You guys think," he was talking to the team. He said, "You guys think you love basketball, but this dude's about to get on a flight. This dude's about to get on a flight and go back to where there's an active war zone so he can do the thing he loves." And that kind of put it in reality for me that like I do love this game and I do love Israel and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And I think I just needed to hear it from someone else to like, you know, kind of make it click.
It's crazy. It's the same coach that was like, "You don't love this game."
Yeah. Well, actually, no. That one
different
left.
coach. Okay,
in the
okay,
middle of
okay.
it. This one was a new one, but I had both of them for that one for 2 years, and then the old one for 3.
Right. But going back to Kiryat Ata in the first few seasons, you played with Ben Saraf.
Yeah.
So why don't you talk about him as a younger dude and
Yeah.
what it feels like to actually have him like go be a first round pick
Yeah.
for the Nets?
Happily, I get asked this a lot, and I want to let people know like one of my favorite teammates. Like I have so much respect for him as a 17-year-old coming into Winter League for the first year and being able to balance his confidence and humbleness, whether or not he actually felt this way, but like he showed it. I had mad respect because that's something I try and do as like an athlete. He could have like the coach yelling at him for doing something wrong, and he knows whether to listen and be like, okay, I'll, you know, or no, I just missed a shot. Like I'm going to make that next time. And we were hard on him, but I think it's because of where he wanted to go. You know, like if you want to play in the NBA, you gotta lead us, or not lead us, but like you gotta be with us and, you know, hold your own. And I mean, there were times where he would do stuff and I would forget he was 17 years old until after the game. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this dude is 17 doing this. It's insane.
He's got that speedy spin
Wow.
move.
And he's such a good dude. Like loves the game, a student of the game, and just so easy to talk to. And, you know.
What do you think that he, from what he was able to do here, and then also while he went and played in Germany, what do you think he is going to be able to bring to the NBA because of what he learned here?
I think just he's a sponge. So it's hard for me to know like what he learned in Germany, but wow, what he's going to learn in the NBA if he just continues to be a student of the game and just soak up everything he can while also being him and keeping that confidence, whether he's getting 5 minutes of playing time, 15, because it's just going to go up and down. Wow, the world is his, and I'm excited to see where he goes.
So good luck, Ben.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah, good luck, brother.
Shout out, Ben.
Yeah.
So going back to your basketball career,
Yeah.
let's go back to last year.
Okay.
You know, Kiryat Ata, great team,
Mm-hmm.
little shaky start, little shaky season. Relegation round comes in, pick up Drake Hook, and then boom, things start clicking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So your best season overseas, you played like 20 minutes a game around, 10.5 points a game. You know,
Yeah.
you're providing from off the bench. You're starting a couple games too,
Yeah.
right? And then you got that relegation round. You go 5-1, and we talked about it coming here. You have 5 guys score double digits in one game, and you know the chemistry is built.
Yeah.
But a little bit too late.
Mhm.
So what can you talk about new teams like evolving every single year,
Mhm.
and then how fun was it once you guys actually built that chemistry at the end of the year?
Okay, so that year was when Lebanon and Israel were at war, so there were missiles
True, yeah.
all the time. So Liam left, and obviously no judgment from me. Get it? So that kind of shook up our team a little bit, and then we were just like trying to fit pieces together, and it was hard to get guys to come because there were red alerts almost like every morning. So it was
Did they move y'all?
not really like for like a week.
Oh,
And
really?
then they like
Wow.
moved us back. So I'm getting woken up at like 4:30 in the morning.
And
bro.
the other foreigners are also with the team at this point, except for Liam.
Silvio, Chris, like that's the
They're
thing. We had a lot.
there.
Silvio and Chris were there, and then we just kind of like went through foreigners. And honestly, I don't even think it was the foreigners' fault. It was just like
No,
not
of
what
course
we
not.
needed,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And so then when they brought in Dre, it was like thank God because he was an unbelievable dude off the court. Unbelievable player, and him, Liam and I, and like Chris and Silvio, like all played well together, and we just like kind of figured it out, and
I
we
actually
just had a good time.
my player comparison for Dre is actually like J-Dub from the Thunder.
I don't hate it.
I think
Dre's not that athletic. No, I mean, all the offense, Dre, because he thinks he is, but he's not that athletic. But I get it. Yeah.
Dre's tough. Y'all were
Very.
cooking at the end of the year there.
Yeah.
And then Kiryat Ata, 4 years, it's a tough decision to move, right?
Oh my
They're
God.
still in the first. You helped them stay in the first league, right? There was a big chance that y'all were going to fall to second league. Doesn't happen. Y'all stay in the first league. And then you go to another team that just came up from the second league. But now you're in the center, like you said. It's more active, more social. You're by the beach now. So what are you looking forward to being in Rishon?
I think just all the attention that the center brings. Like, I was comfortable in Kiryat, which is great, but like I kind of wanted that pressure, And I think Rishon is like a very historical club, and the way that they were gonna like fit me into their offense and defense was kind of what I wanted. And like I said, I wanted to bring Kennedy out here, and the life of Rishon is like a lot closer to LA than Kiryat was, and we kind of wanted to make that like feel like home. But
you also got a big reunion.
Yeah, we do.
You and Amin?
Yeah, we do. And I'm so excited that he signed, and I don't know, it kind of felt right. Like when I saw that he didn't even tell me until the night before. I'm like, I guess we're not as close as I thought we were. Like, he texted me and just like with eyes emojis, and I'm like, what? And he said, reunited. And I'm like, what do you, like, that's how, I was like, what are you talking about? And then he FaceTimed me and we talked about it.
And y'all both had probably like your best seasons last year. I mean, he was like basically Champions League MVP.
Yeah.
He was cooking in the Champions League. Played really well for him at Gon.
Yeah. Oh, he's a great player, great dude, great teammate. So I'm excited. I'm really excited.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself? Like, what role do you see yourself in coming into this new team, new season, coming off of a great year? You shot 40% from three. Which is
proud of that.
Yeah, should be very much should be.
Yeah.
What next steps do you see yourself taking coming into this year with the new team?
I think just evolving my game. Like, it's in college, I was actually a slasher. Didn't shoot threes at all, like 33%. And then when I got overseas, kind of became only a 3-point shooter. But it's crazy because I'm still a great driver, and I haven't been able to show people that. And so I'm kind of excited for this year. I had a great season, summer, to work on like athleticism, getting my strength and all that. And so I think just showing people that I can actually put the ball on the ground. I felt like I was standing in the corner a lot and just shooting threes for my basketball career. And so to expand that and show people that I'm actually a pretty good driver.
And then kind of taking it back, you guys won the second league with Kiryat back in your first year. And then you have that first year in the first league. Didn't play so much, but you still got to see the basketball happening. Your front row seat to really good basketball. Now it's 3-4 years later, and Israel's league is probably the best it's ever been. Freaking Damian Lee just signed in Ness Tzionah. Are you kidding me?
Crazy.
It's not Maccabi. It's not a Paul.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not like the big teams.
Yeah.
It's Ness Tzionah, and he's going there. There's Malik Halls in Kiryat Ata now. You got guys all over the league, and it's a really tough league. But also looking even at last season, what do you see that kind of changed from that first year that you played in first league, and how's the basketball looking now? How's it evolved?
It's crazy because I thought, the league would take a hit with the war and everything.
For real,
but the thing about Israelis is they are mentally strong. They are resilient and persistent, and it translated to basketball because I was not expecting the league to be like this good, have this many names, and like even last year, like the standings were by one game to make the 10th place to get relegated. I mean, besides Haifa, but besides Haifa, but like, no, it's crazy. And I'm just, like I said, my goal in basketball, everyone's like, do you want to go play in the NBA? And I said, that's not my goal. My goal is to play at the highest level I possibly can. And if the NBA ends up being an opportunity, great. And if it doesn't, and if, I played at this high level, great, because like this is a very high level.
I mean, EuroLeague, EuroCup, Champions League, these leagues are on the rise. Yeah. Right? There's a reason why NBA wants to make NBA Europe.
Yep.
Because they see what's happening here.
Wow. Yeah. Europeans are coming.
Yeah.
They are.
Hot take.
Yeah.
Israel might have the best league outside the NBA right now.
That is a super hot take, and I don't think I can agree with
I
that
mean,
just
I
yet.
know Spain and Greece, and
Yeah.
there are crazy
Spain's
clubs.
gotta be.
But man, like with these signings
I mean, the
recently,
Israel's
names-
getting there.
I
Like,
get it.
It really is.
Yeah, for sure. I think honestly, if the war stops and like there's
if it stops
some peace,
completely,
some peace. Like I don't think there'll be peace in the Middle East for a while, but like if it can, just for a little bit, for things to calm down. Yeah, Israel's
just
gotta,
for one basketball
just,
season.
Just give it to us.
Just give us
like,
1 year.
Yeah,
Give us
exactly.
1 year.
Yeah, and I think your hot take wouldn't be so hot, but right now I can't agree with you. No.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, Derek Fisher said that he thinks that so many more young players are going to start looking at Europe and Israel and other countries and other leagues instead of going to college. You know, why do you think a young player would pick Israel?
I don't. Was this before NIL?
No,
Or
he, like,
he-
he,
he
he
said
said
that
this like,
now?
he said this, like,
Offseason.
like maybe a month ago.
Wow.
Yeah, with
I
NIL
mean,
and
you saw
everything,
like Brandon Boston EuroLeague, Thomas Bryant's looking at the EuroLeague. You know, you got Rishwan Holmes who just signed in the
NBA
EuroLeague.
players, not. Oh, I thought you said
so
college.
He was talking about how young NBA players, instead of signing minimum,
Gotcha.
also college
Okay.
players, also
I see
high
what
school
you're saying.
players, instead of
Yeah, yeah.
going.
More like guys coming out of college
Oh, okay, I see
instead
what
of
you're
going to the G League coming to here.
I mean, it's gonna be it's gonna be tough because I think like especially in America now, if you're like Ben Saroff,
Right.
who he knows Europe and he knows how good it is, and NBA is like his goal like as a kid, but like it's more distant. I think kids who grow up in the U.S., it's gonna be so tough for them who like have a choice to pick NBA or go overseas to turn down an NBA. Like if you're borderline G League, like okay, fine, but if you get an NBA contract, I don't see how
I don't really think it's looking like that. I mean, I would say guys who are
are on the
younger in
fringe.
the NBA rather than
being 15th man or
and
or
going to the
12th
G
man.
League.
Gotcha. Yeah, then absolutely.
They're coming over here.
100%, especially once they realize.
And it's funny because it's just like you said, it's flip flopping. A
Yeah.
lot of Europeans are going there,
Yeah.
and then a lot of
Yep.
Americans are coming over here.
I was fascinated with NIL though because I didn't realize the effect it would have on overseas basketball
Mhm.
and the youth going over to America.
Mhm.
Like I just thought, okay, it's gonna maybe like burn out a lot of kids because like now they're professionals. Like if a kid's not producing his freshman year, they're like, okay, we'll teach him whatever. But if he's making $1 million, it's like maybe we should go somewhere else in that
and
pressure.
guys are
you know?
switching every year now in college.
Yeah,
and like
exactly.
you have a whole handful just from Israel going out there. I mean, you got Purdue, you got Colorado
Exactly.
Boulder, a guy just signed.
You got LSU.
Yeah, and
LSU.
that transfer portal is wicked.
It's
like a lot of
insane.
kids.
It's wild.
That's why I try and tell them is just like, you might have to like build your way up. You might have to start D2. I know a lot of D2 guys who got like one of my teammates. His name's Chaney Johnson. He was at UAH with me. Auburn. He had like a great year. Auburn offered him. He went to Auburn afterwards. Like it was different. I had D1. Like after my sophomore year, I had D1 interest, but there was no NIL, so I was like, I don't want to
Yeah,
go
why
D1.
would
You
you
guys
do that?
didn't want me when I was, in
Yeah.
high school.
Not playing as much.
Yeah, UAH is my home. But now, I don't know if I would have said that if they're offering money.
Yeah.
You know, they
Like,
offer you a mill. I
yeah,
think
Go get a
little bit.
bag.
I mean, I wasn't gonna get a mill, but yeah, if they were offering a mill, love UAH. I hope you understand. I'll
Yeah.
give some of you guys for like boosters, but
I mean, some of these guys are just getting a few $100,000 to be the eighth man on the team.
yeah, I'm happy for it. Like I'm not one of the old heads who's like hating on it because I think it's great. I think it makes NCAA competitive. It makes like some of these guys who wouldn't even make 150 grand in the G League, who's now making $1 million for a year. Now they get an opportunity to have like one more year like
It's
that.
definitely going to be hard mentally, but just like you said, it's hard for the old heads also to kind of look back. Even
Yeah.
your old teammate Silvio,
yeah.
he got
Hey, yeah,
fucked
his-
by the
his-
NCAA.
His is definitely different than my
that's
situation.
that's a great. I mean, I'm sure he's such a great guy that he's like, yeah, I'm so happy that they're
No,
getting the
he's-
money, you
yeah.
know. But like
His
that-
mentality,
with
he's-
what happened there, I mean, Kansas made 190 million off of Adidas that year.
Yeah.
You know,
No, that's
and
what I'm
not
saying.
one player was able to take any money home.
100%. I agree.
So like now that these guys are finally being able to take some money to themselves, it's great to see. And like all these brands are also paying them, and they're getting the ads and endorsements, all these things. So it's definitely very cool. It definitely will take a toll on them mentally.
Yeah, 100%.
Getting $1 million maybe in college and then
yeah.
going to play in the G League for scraps.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that.
Well, I also say that about, and we're going to have to get back to Silvio because there's something really funny, but I do say something about the guys who play like at a very high major, like Power 5, and then going overseas their first year. It is culture shock. Like coming from D3, D2, you don't have the facilities, you don't have people looking out for you, you don't have people holding your hand. So you're like, all right, like it's just culturally differently. But dudes who had chefs cooking for them and now they got to go and, make sure they get in the gym only when the gym's available from like 9 to 10, where they used to just have keys to the gym. But Silvio, I don't know if we're going to share the picture, but after the podcast, I'm going to have to show you Silvio as a freshman and me as a freshman. And we'll decide if we want to let the viewers see it. But oh my God, when everyone says everyone's born equal, it just depends on how hard you work. Yeah, right. I'll show you this picture and you guys, that saying will never come back.
That's not a fair comparison for anyone.
Dude, Silvio's a monster. Monster. So
But it's funny you say that also about the coming from a high major overseas. We had John D on the podcast. He said the exact same thing, right? He came from D3. Now he's playing for a powerhouse in the EuroLeague.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're going from hundreds of fans to thousands of fans.
Yeah.
But if you're a high D1 kid, D1 major, and you coming out here and then you see 200 fans in the crowd,
yeah,
it's a little diminishing.
it's hard to bring the juice,
It's tough.
in those games. Yeah.
But it's like an open run, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
And like even if you think about the bubble, there was no fans, and that was the best basketball we've seen.
Yeah,
I miss it every day.
Yeah, I talked with some guys who play in the bubble. We do like training out in LA, so there's like a lot of the NBA guys there, and the young guys liked the bubble a lot. Older guys, like obviously like the LeBron James stuff, like didn't love it as much because like fans, family, all that. But the dudes who don't have a family, they're just like chilling, So
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler Cook came on the pod, and he was talking about how, the bubble was fun for the first 30-ish days.
yeah, if you make it far, it's like
and then
you know.
after about a month in, they all got a little bit.
for sure, 100%.
Right. As we're wrapping up, you're in your 5th year
Mhm.
overseas now this
Yeah.
year. What's some advice you would give for a younger guy coming out of college playing overseas?
Just be patient. I would say work while you wait is like one of my favorite sayings that my coach told me is just because it's not your time yet doesn't mean you just sit around and wait for it. Like you do something while you're waiting for it. Like I know with my career, like I said, I took the scenic route. I obviously felt like I should be playing, but you never know what's going to happen. There was an opportunity for me to leave Kiritata my 3rd year, so not last year, the year before, and I was like right on the edge, and I decided not to. Like I just had a feeling that my time was going to come, and it did. And I'm glad that like I was working while I was waiting, because if I didn't, then I wouldn't be able to, have the playoffs I had and really like blow my career up, So yeah, work while you wait. You never know.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And at the end of each podcast, we do a little shot clock segment. So we're going to go 24 seconds, rapid fire, 1-word answers. You got the shot
I got
clock
the shot
up
clock
there.
right here.
Okay.
You could say pass. Okay. Some guys are like, you can say pass.
You want to go first?
Yeah. You ready?
All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Favorite shoe sneaker.
Kobe's 8.
Favorite basketball movie.
Space Jam Glory Road.
Funniest teammate you've had.
Oh, Dre.
Favorite place to play.
Maccabi Tel Aviv.
Favorite basketball team.
Milwaukee Bucks because of Giannis.
Favorite basketball team you played for.
Pass.
Player you modeled your game after.
Pass.
Favorite food.
Pizza. Sushi. Why did I say that? Sushi.
The pressure. It's the pressure.
Oh my gosh.
Good shit,
Sushi.
man. All right, man. Well, we appreciate you coming in. This was awesome. It was super fun.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. And
Thank you so much.
thank you guys for doing this. Really brings a light to all the guys like myself. A lot of guys playing overseas, giving us a voice. And you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I gotta see this picture.